coat out today because, judging going off of, from what the streets are saying, it's gonna get very cold. So, but anyway, we still here. My name is Mr. J3T, aka Big Sexy, aka the Kentucky Cannon, aka the World Class Badass, aka Chocolate Thunder with a caramel swirl, aka Black Lightning with a peanut butter filling, and y'all know the rest. So, today we're going to be talking about the show that I actually wanted to talk about in my last video, and that is Sentenced to Be a Hero. So this is a new anime that's kicking off the winter anime season, and it's about in this world. There are heroes, right? And you know how in most other stories, being seen as a hero is like this honorable thing, right? Well, in this world, it's not. It's actually a crime sentence, you know? It's sentenced to these criminals that did like the most heinous, out of pocket things, right? They get sentenced to be a hero, and roll credits. But what that basically entails is that they go on these very dangerous like missions to kill these like demon lords. So I'll put up an example on screen. So yeah, they're going on these missions to take out these demon lords, and if they die, they get resurrected and go back into the mission, you know. So it's kind of like a Suicide Squad thing where, but yeah, it's actually a lot like Suicide Squad, where if they get out of line, their heads will blow up. But unlike Suicide Squad, they actually come back. So they have this thing where they can come back and continue their torture. So our main character, Xylo, he's one of these heroes, right? And one day when he's out on his mission, he has a chance encounter with this goddess called Tortilla. I probably said her name all the way wrong. Tortilla. I've heard her name so much, and I still and I still get her name wrong. Ugh. But yeah, she's a goddess, right? And our boy Xylo, he's kind of apprehensive around goddesses. He doesn't seem to like goddesses. It's explained why, but why in the first episode, why he doesn't really mess with goddesses that much. But anyway, he has a chance encounter with this goddess, and this goddess, she names Xylo her knight, right? Xylo's not messing with it at first, but as the mission goes on and as the stakes get higher, he's forced to make a pact with her, make a bond with her to use some of her goddess powers to help him out. And the adventures ensue. So, like I said before, this is the show that I wanted to talk about. I've heard about it before, and the first episode, it was like, it was a long one. It was a long boy. She was a long boy. She was a long boy. He was a long boy, or she was a long boy. She was a long girl. Whatever. It was a long episode, is what I'm trying to say, and I liked it. I really liked it. This show really came out swinging. Now, Xylo as a character, actually, before I get into characters, I want to say, first and foremost, I want to say animation was great. Like I said, this show really came out swinging with the 50-minute episode, and they made the most out of their 50 minutes because it's a lot of action, and it's great. And it's not just action, it's also story too. Like I said, there's the whole angle with Xylo and the goddess and their budding relationship, and there's how Xylo became a hero, how he got sentenced to be a hero. Roll credits. But yeah, there's that angle going on, and like, it was just really great. Now, as I segue into these characters, Xylo. Now, when we first get introduced to Xylo, he's sort of like he's a sort of he's kind of like the reserved, he's like doesn't really seem like a big fan of other people. Like, not gonna lie, when I first saw him, I thought he was gonna be kind of like a edge lord a bit. But as the series goes on, there are 3 episodes out right now. We kind of get to see a little more of Xylo's personality. At first, you would think he was a bit of a hard ass, a bit of a, like I said, edge lord, but we see that he's actually kind of sarcastic. He actually has a bit of a sense of humor. There's this character who's also a fellow hero, and he this whole, again, picture up on screen. His whole thing is that he thinks he's a king, right? He thinks he's this king that rules a whole nation, and instead of Xylo explaining to him that he's not a king, Xylo just indulges him. He enables him pretty much. So he'll say stuff like, "Oh, your majesty," or "your highness," whenever this whenever this king would give like a command, or say like there's actually a funny moment in the 3rd episode where they're in a mine shaft and the king just goes, "All right, let's pick out who dies first. Xylo, you die first." And he just goes, "It's such an honor, your majesty." Yeah, so he just has just little moments like that where we get to see a little more of his personality, and I just like those moments. I like how he's more than just like this stereotypical badass, like silent badass edgelord. There's a little more to him. Hell, there's even rare moments where he even cracks a smile. I know, right? A smile. Yeah, so I like him so far. I will say, speaking of this king, he's probably my favorite character so far because, like I said, he thinks he's this king, but since he's a king, he's all about his people, right? His subjects. He wants to protect his subjects. Like I said, in this mine, they're trying to rescue a bunch of miners, right? Well, miners as in they're digging in the mines, not, the other kind of miners. You'll know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. Get your minds out the gutter. But yeah, they're trying to save these guys, right? And he's very like I'm going to save my subjects. I'm going to save my people. In fact, yeah, when they're fighting this like plant demon lord, I'll show a picture up on screen. They're fighting this plant demon lord, and he gets caught by his leg, right? His leg is all mangled, right? Like, his leg's mangled, just all kinds of messed up, right? And he just cuts his own leg off, and he charges, and he just stabs this plant demon lord, right? And after the battle's over, his first thought was, "Are my servants okay? Are they alive?" And I'm like, this dude got that dog in him. This dude's a real one, So not only is he funny, he's just a funny character, and I like how like Xylo indulges in his fantasies. He's also got some heart in him, like even Xylo admits that, you're a hell of a king. Yeah, so he's probably my favorite character so far. He got that dog in him. I like him a lot. Now, the goddess. It's interesting. The relationship between this goddess and Xylo, it's a little complicated right now. So, like I said before, Xylo, he's not he doesn't really mess with goddesses, and it's explained why he doesn't really mess with goddesses, and it's explained. In fact, it's tied into how he became a hero in the first place, how he got sentenced to be a hero, and I'm debating if I should tell y'all. Yeah, I'm debating if I should tell y'all, but actually, you know what? I'm not gonna tell y'all. But all I gotta say, it's tied into how he became a hero, so he's apprehensive to even make a pact with her. But this goddess is adorable, she's just a little goddess that just wants to help Xylo any way she can and get praise while she's at it. So it's there's moments where she just really wants to be useful to Xylo and help Xylo, and it's frustrating because it's like, Xylo, just let her help you. Let her help you. Praise this goddess, okay? She just wants some head pats, damn it. Give her some head pats, damn it. Praise her, damn it. So I'm interested to see how their relationship develops as the series goes on, because ironically, uh there's a whole fire motif with this goddess. She's the goddess of swords, but there's a whole fire motif. Ironically, she has a whole fire aesthetic, but she's slowly chipping away at Xylo's cold exterior. She's just slowly melting his cold exterior away. And I know what's gonna happen because in the opening, uh, when he sees this goddess, he cracks a little smile, right? So I know what's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen anytime soon, but it's gonna happen, and I want to see it happen. Now, I like the world. I like the world building of this series. Like I said, seen as a hero in this world is a sentenced. So it's sentenced for like the worst people that did like the worst of the worst crimes. And we actually, and like I said earlier, if you die on a mission, you get brought back. And there's this character, I think his name is Toya, who he's a hero, a fellow hero with Xylo and them, and he actually got brought back before. And Xylo explains that the more you come back to life, the more they bring you back to life, the more it starts to chip away at your soul, and you start to lose yourself. You start to lose your personality. You start to become mindless. And that's exactly what happened to our boy Toya. That's exactly what happened to him. He's just this mindless killing machine, pretty much. He doesn't say words, he just grunts, but he a beast though, because in the latest episode, he was putting in work against that plant demon lord. So, and Xylo was like, he took one look at that guy and he's just like, yeah, I don't want that to happen to me. Nope, not at all. So I like the world building. I like the weapons in this, because there's this weapon in here called a thunder staff, right? In the first episode, Xylo is with this other character named Dada, and he has like I said, he has this thunder staff, right? And it's a staff that shoots out like bolts of lightning or electricity or magic or whatever. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, they put a switch on a staff. Yeah, they straight up put a switch on a staff. And put a switch on a staff, call it auto magic. But yeah, they put a switch on this staff, and they're just using these staffs like revolvers. uh it's it's such a cool weapon. I think it's so funny and so cool. uh but yeah, I like the world building a lot. I'm really liking these characters. There's not really I can't really think of any major cons right now because, like I said, there are only 3 episodes out right now, and yeah, I can't really think of many cons. It's this show is really getting off to a good start. It has interesting characters, great animation, great fight scenes, uh, and I'm really looking forward to see where this series goes and how what twists and turns this series is going to take. So I'm really enjoying it so far. I As of now, I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. I'm going to save the J3T stamp of approval though. It doesn't get one yet because like I said, there are only 3 episodes. This series just started. So I'm going to save it until the end and see if it'll this show is going to keep this momentum and if it'll earn that J3T stamp of approval. But yeah, that's all I got right now. I had to pump out a video now because, as you can hear, it's quiet in my house, so I might as well pump out a quick video real quick. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. But if you really like me, then consider subscribing and ring that bell so you always know whenever I upload, because it is free. Don't be a dum-dum. Subscribe today. Deuces.